Hi, this is Bobby George in Human Resources. One of our PIBA family, Joe Greene, passed away unexpectedly on December 3rd. As a memorial to Joe, I have produced a video composed of photos, video clips, and testimonials. Joe is a talented work colleague, and he and I were the best of friends, and we shared a lot of the same interests like music and fitness and family and raising kids. We were both veterans of the United States military, me Army, Joe Air Force. Joe had a positive impact on so many of us over the years. As an employee, Joe embodied those characteristics of high performance we refer to as the PIBA way. Joe was highly skilled in computers and technology applications. He delivered his services with a spring in his step and a twinkle in his eye. In addition to his information technology expertise, Joe was a strong supporter of our wellness initiative at PIBA, modeling healthy eating and exercise. And Joe was a fabulous musician and founding member of our PIBA band, the Arbor Lake Swim Team. Please keep Joe's family and friends in your thoughts and prayers, and thank you for watching.
So one beautiful day in spring of 2020, there were very few people working from the office. Nerves were a bit on edge and folks were really scared because of COVID. And this was my vantage point. I'm near a window. Outside the window is a row of holly bushes about 3 feet high, and it overlooks our parking lot. It's around lunchtime on this particular day, and I'm working away. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a head zoom by the window. It's just ahead. It was literally flying 6 inches over the row of holly bushes. So I kind of shake it off and think that was really weird. Go back to work. About a minute later, corner of the eye, head flies by again. It's a human head moving at incredible speed, and it looks like it's levitating just above these holly bushes. So I get up, stand, look outside the window, and then just then, like a rocket ship, Joe comes hurtling around the corner on a skateboard, and he's doing about 40 miles an hour through the PIBA parking lot. I remember at the time just smiling and thinking to myself that, in the midst of everything that was going on, to be able to have fun, not take things too seriously, that Joe Greene has got to be the coolest guy I've ever had the pleasure of knowing.
Joe Greene, what a great guy. Because I'm across the hall from Bobby G is probably why I was fortunate enough to see Joe on a daily basis. He would come in, stick his head in, and say hi. Usually I'd see him very often. I was also lucky enough to be included on smoothie days. Joe would treat us occasionally to his vegetarian fruit smoothies, and they were wonderful and such a nice treat. Joe is he was a good, cool, all-around guy. A pleasure to be around. One of the coolest, smartest people that I think I've ever known. So he will be missed.
What I remember about Joe Greene, I started at PIBA in April of 2014, and he was one of the first people to introduce himself to me. Over the years working at PIBA and working with Joe, we developed a friendship there that encompassed a lot of things other than just work. We talked about food and him being a vegan and me not being one, and had debates about that, and more Star Wars things and music and just all kinds of different things that we both shared and loved. We learned more about technology together. He would come into my office and ask questions and learn things and try to better himself to get the certificates he needed to try to get on the system admin team, which he tried to do numerous times. I was a big advocate for him trying to get on that team. Some more personal things is, I was a big Marvel Hulk collector, and every time Joe and his family would go to Disneyland, he would bring back a Hulk figurine or something Hulk related for me. They're all in my office there at PIBA. They will be treasured from here on out. And he's just one of those guys that we had so many talks about so many different things that I will miss greatly at PIBA.
There are so many things that I could say about Joe Greene. First of all, he was always my go-to IT guy. He always had so much patience. He could always fix absolutely anything that nobody else could figure out. He also made the absolute best, most healthy smoothies on the planet. We would fight over who would get the leftovers, and we'd slurp down every last little sip we could get. Joe and I had just so many great conversations over the years. One of them led to us discovering that we graduated from high school together and didn't even know each other. So, of course, that just led to more conversation over the years. And I loved getting to know Joe and all about him. And I always felt like I learned so much from our conversations. He was so incredibly smart and just well-spoken and intelligent. And I loved talking to him all the time. He was also one of the messiest people that I knew, which of course I have discovered from his wife since that also carried over to the house. And I got to see some of that. But he was also he was the kindest, the coolest, just one of the most genuine guys you could ever meet. And I know he absolutely adored his family and he loved them so much. And I feel like it was such a privilege and an honor to get to know him and to work with him. And I'll always just miss Joe.
Joe Greene, who I usually will call JoJo, was a great coworker and an even better friend. He was always there when you need him, and what more can I say? What I really take from him is that when Joe was a good person. In my team, what I remember is that he would always go to Duck Donuts and bring our staff donuts. That's one good thing about Joe. He was always looking out for you, and he was just a true friend. I can say for me and the staff, we'll miss him.
What I remember most about Joe Greene is he was our IT guy in communications. It didn't matter what problem we had. We always wanted Joe to come help us, and he was always very eager to come help. He fixed many issues for us, but more importantly than that, while he was helping us, we learned a lot about him personally. He learned a lot about us personally, and so we had that connection to share those stories about our children or, growing up and, beliefs and things like that. So it was always nice to have those conversations while you're waiting on your computer to update or while you're waiting on things to happen. Joe also helped us a lot in communications by doing some voiceover recordings for many of our videos that are live on the website. Those are certainly things that we'll cherish now, and go back and be able to hear his voice and remember all of the things that he did for us. Overall, Joe was a great guy, both, as a colleague, but also as a friend, and we'll certainly miss him.
PIBA offers insurance benefits to covered subscribers and their dependents. Everything from health, prescription, and dental coverage to vision coverage, life insurance, long-term disability, and tax-favored accounts. Our website, piba.sc.gov, is a great place to find details about the benefits available to you.
Joe Greene. I've got my Joe Greene story. First time I met him, I used to work at Retirement Systems years back. I took a break, came back, and it was PIBA, 2015. And IT had to come over and help get me set up on my first couple of days or whatever. And they said, this guy Joe Greene's coming over. He's really nice. You're going to love him. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And Joe comes up, and I'm kind of a weird dude anyway, and I like to sing people's names for songs. It's kind of weird, and I look at him, I'm like, Jimi Hendrix? And I'm like, hey, Joe, hey, Joe, want to run around, round, round. I didn't really know the rest of the words. And Joe looked at me, and I'm like, I don't know how he's going to take me. I'd never met the guy before. And he was like, Jeremy spoken. I'm Jeremy. He said, Jeremy spoken clays today. And he was like, Pearl Jam. I'm like, I got you, bro. And so that was my first meeting of Joe Greene. And that was kind of our thing throughout the rest of the years we worked together here at PIBA. Whether it was the hallway or the stairwell, I'd sing Hey Joe and he'd sing Jeremy to me. And that's my story about Joe. Joe always had a smile, big heart, and he's just one of the kindest people I've ever met. That's all I got.
Everyone was so fond of Joe. I mean, just genuinely a positive person. He's a big kid in many ways, passionate about his interests, whether it's tech or music, sci-fi. And Joe was always a giver. He'd always bring in food in and coffee and is all kind of stuff. And people around the agency just really loved Joe, and he helped a lot of people and always heard positive things. You know, I can't explain how much he'll be missed.
Good morning, everyone. Got two cool Joe Greene stories to tell. I'm honored to tell them. Joe Stone here. Joe Greene, the real Joe, used to have he had a buddy, I think he used to work with, a buddy maybe, that was named Joe. And for the last 2 or 3 years, each year on his buddy Joe's birthday, our Joe would come around and round up me, Joe Butler, Joey Ramsey, and then he'd videotape before I was singing happy birthday to his buddy Joe, and then send it to him from the PIBA Joes. What an awesome guy. And one other cool story, this is not more than 3 or 4 weeks ago. Joe Greene showed up in my office. He had seen these cups in a store, and if you can't read it, it says, in case of emergency, ask Joe. And he bought himself one, and he bought me one. Just an awesome guy. It proves he was the real Joe. We miss you, Joe.
Got Joe Greene.